Hello and welcome back to SpriteGuard Plays HyperRogue. We are working our way down the world overview. Next we have, let's see, we can't do the crossroads yet, so the next place we have to go is the Mirrored Land, then the minefield, and then the zebra, and then the run will end because I'm really bad at the zebra. So let's take this one at a time. Let's find ourselves a Mirrored Land, and we are armed to the teeth right now. So it kind of seems like a shame that we're not heading into someplace a little bit more dangerous. I'm pretty comfortable with the Mirrored Land. It's one of the areas where I feel the safest. This is a minefield. I have a little tiny bit of difficulty. The minefield is a little bit lighter than the Mirrored Land, but I find it looks very similar. But here we go. This is a Mirrored Land, and we're going into... Oh! I walked into a wall and used my Orb of Flash. So we still have speed, and I think the eagles actually move twice on their turn. They don't actually move at double speed. That's what it looked like just happened there. That was interesting. I'd always assumed that they moved at double speed. Maybe I just misread the screen because I am just kind of a little bit getting warmed up. This is the first game that I'm doing today. Now, if we could find ourselves a minefield while we're picking up mirror shards, that would be great, but I don't feel too confident about that. Let's see if we can take some of these guys out by strategy. Love using the mimics effectively, but it is a little bit tricky to do sometimes, a little bit tricky to plan out. They are kind of hard to control because parallel lines tend to diverge, and so if you walk in a straight line, they will walk away from you. So it's a little bit hard to kind of control them and keep them on the screen. There's a lot fewer ways of kind of maneuvering them so that they stay on the screen. As far as I've been able to tell, you know, there might be clever ways of maneuvering them around that I just haven't been able to find because I haven't looked all that hard. And we're right here. We have our last mirror shard. So we can just head back in here and let's see. This is a minefield. No mines. No mines. Good. Alright, so we can just head right in here and start gathering up some treasures. And I found out recently that the reason that these eggs hatch if you're not looking at them is so that what you could do is you could go up to all of these eggs, and the number of mines increases as you collect them. And so you could just go up to each of these and be like, hi, 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 and then retrace your steps and gather them once you've already created a clear path. And so that's kind of the way of making it so that if you try to do that, you will end up fighting some bomber birds. So, okay, so we know where this mine is, so we can open up that one, and we know where that one is, so we can open up that one, and that has allowed us to clear out a little bit more room around there. What this will do is it will let us find our way back to any lands that we happen to find our way to along the way as we're looking for treasures. We will run into other lands, and we will just have you know, some opportunities that we won't be able to take because we're not done yet. So we can just retrace our steps because we can always see exactly where we've been. And as we get more treasures, of course, I think it's going to get more crowded. It tends, generally the rule has been that threat does not increase very much for your first 10 treasures. And then it really starts ramping up after 11 and greater. And I don't actually know. So there's actually one of the bomber birds. So I don't know exactly what the algorithm is, but that's been my experience. So that's the Mirrored Land and the minefield in short order. Let's take a look at the overview. So that means that the next thing we have is Onyx from the Zebra. I am going to try and cheese this as much as I possibly can. because this land, I feel so helpless. I find it so difficult, and we're going to have to use this pretty soon here. Yeah, there we go. So let's see, I don't see anything else on the edges yet. So we have to be very careful, and we have to remember that this is a turn-based game, and that we have all of the time we need to plan out. So there's one in the upper left, there is one in the lower right. I'm going to take on the one in the lower right first, and then we'll deal with this one over here, grab some onyx, and now instead of going after those onyx over there, I am actually going to make my way back to the crossroads here. And I'm going to stay well within sight of it, and just grab a couple of more of these, and then what I actually intend to do is, oh dear, okay, I just got a wave of trouble here. So I think the thing to do here is to move down and around to the left, and then kind of let these guys line up. And now I'm going to actually move forward to take on this guy directly above me. That was a mistake. I now have two dogs that are both one step away from me, and I'm going to have to step onto some unstable ground in order to deal with that. We can get close to that guy and then move and stab him, but now we have a bunch more dogs coming up. And so I want to try and loop around here. And right away, I'm seeing that we are in some serious trouble. I should not have lingered as long as I did. This might be the end. And I'm trying to chart a path. I think we can do kind of a... Let's see, if we go straight ahead... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, let's see. We have this guy's one away, these guys are one away. This guy is 1, 2, 3 steps away, which means that if I take a step forward and he takes a step forward, he'll be one step away and everything will be one step away. So that's bad. So I want to make a step that will change the total kind of parity of the dogs that I'm facing. So I'm going to step to the right here. And then I basically only have one option. And now I'm going to take a step. I'm going to stay on stable ground here and try and take a step up here and see if I can make it to that crossroads. Or try and get through this heptagon that will line the dogs up. And I think I stepped off of the heptagon in a wrong way. Oh, that was a hexagon. Ah, you know what I actually need to do here is I need to go into the menu, and it might be too late for this. It might actually be too late, but let's see. Basic configuration. Monster display mode, we're going to go for, let's see. Oh no, it's wall display mode. Escher, ASCII, black, or plain. So we're going to go with plain. And now we have a much better view of what the terrain is shaped like. So it looks like if we want a heptagon, we're going to have to take a couple of steps away from the crossroads here. But that's actually, that's working out. We have a little bit more of a grip on this. Now they are creating some gaps that might actually let us kind of slow down the tempo here. We can loop around like this. And it looks like we're still not going to quite be able to get to this crossroads. Let's see, we have... Actually, this is a pretty good tempo here. We can kill that guy, and that guy, and that guy. And then, this is not good. Let's see. There we go. That's that worked out. Now we can head around this way, and we are out. We need 3 more onyx, though. And so I'm going to kind of make my way around the edge of it. We're on the lookout mainly for orbs. We have unlocked quite a lot of very valuable orbs, and so if we can just find one not too far away, and I would rather we had found a Crossroads Type 1 than Type 2, because the Type 2 has fewer orbs in it. Simply because the Type 2 has fewer tiles in it. But that might not be an option. And I think I'm going to leave the wall display on plain for a while now. I'm a little bit tempted to... Oh, there actually is a Crossroads for us. Crossroads Type 1. So we can head out here and then kind of go on the hunt for another zebra. Let's see. We can grab the speed just for the extra safety. So here's another zebra right here. And so I'm going to top up our speed. And then I'm going to dip in here and grab a couple of onyx. And we only need 1 more, but I am not going to take any risks here. And I'm going to make my way around the edge. Let's see, we have 27 speed left. That should be enough to dip in, dip out, and we have completed it. I was really thinking that that was the end there for a little while. That was very tense. And the zebra continues to be an area that I find just kind of so difficult that I can barely deal with it. I don't have a good plan for how to deal with it. And we can V, B, W, V. We can set it back to Escher mode. The zebra is the only place where I find it really difficult to see what shape the cells are. Pretty much every other area is really clear which are the heptagons and which are the hexagons. But the shape of the zebra, the pattern of the zebra, is so different from the pattern of the rest of the world that it's very difficult to see which pieces are which shape. And so, and I think it's because the pattern of the zebra is so distracting that it makes me think, well, it's very hard for me to register it as part of the normal HyperRogue grid, that it's the same shape. I really see it as stripes, these rectangles. They're crammed together. It's like when I look at kind of an area where the tile shapes are really similar, like the Living Fjord here. Even though the tiles are very similar in shape, I can see how the grid looks. I can see, okay, these are the hexagons, these are the heptagons. I can see the kind of the ring shapes. I can see how it fits into the normal kind of the flat Crossroads grid. Whereas with the zebra, I can't quite do that. And the tower, the ivory tower as well, I can't really do that. But it's less important there because the gravity and height mechanic is so important. And so there it's actually useful having the special wall display mode, though even there, it might be worthwhile to toggle it once we get there. So let's take a look at the overview, see what we have coming up next. We have the palace and then the ocean. So I think that what I'm going to do now is let's see if we can finish up the palace quickly. And then we will have all of the land kind of stuff out of the way, or not all of the land stuff, but we will have we will have wrapped up the first land-based portion of this series. We will have to set to sea after that, And so that seems like a good breaking point. And I'm just going to be very gentle here. And the animation seems to be stuttering a little bit for some reason. The FPS has not dropped at all, but for some reason it's looking just a little bit stuttery to me. It might be even just my eyes changing my perception of things in subtle ways. It might be, the particular use of colors. It might be just the particular kind of combination of caffeine and sugar that I've had today, which seems to be different nearly every day because I'm just eating different things, drinking different things. Let's see, these three actually, if we can remember our way out from here, and we'll have that pit to remind us. So that's it. That is the palace out of the way. So the next thing we're going to do is set to sea. And I think I saw an ocean over here. So we will be... but we want to actually grab the orb of safety here. And that has dropped us right next to an ocean, which is great. So in the next episode, we will be setting to sea. We will be looking at... Let's take another look at the overview. The ocean, living fjord, warped coast, Caribbean, and whirlpool and Relia. So the ocean portion of this series is probably not going to be possible to do in a single episode. And it's going to take us through another one of the most dangerous areas in the game, the whirlpool. Another place where we could very easily end the run. So all that is coming up in the future. Until then, thank you very much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.